All right, hello, how you guys doing out there? It's Michael Chapman Jr. and bring you guys a new video. I just ended up returning home from my 5th anniversary with my wife, and as I was doing some work and doing some tidying up for this upcoming week, I was thinking about what is a good topic for me to talk about, and it just so happened that this topic I wanted to do it sooner than later. So rather than doing it in a couple days and write some notes down, I kind of wanted to give you guys some of my thoughts from, just kind of what is on the inside, give you guys some true raw information that is just coming right from the inside of me. And the topic that I want to speak on is patience. And this was due to me thinking about, what were some of the reasons why my relationship that I'm in with my wife has allowed us to, be successful. And I know that, some of these same attributes can translate into other avenues. And I think for a lot of us that are looking at personal development and how to make a better version of yourself and how to, work on particular characteristics and qualities of yourself to improve on, I think this is a great subject to talk about. And so going on with the relationship theme, and we'll translate it over to personal growth and business development. But for me, patience has been one of the number one attributes that has allowed the relationship with my wife to become successful. And it's not a one person thing. It's actually a two people, a characteristic that two people have to have, and you have to know when to execute it. Because there's a lot of times where things don't go as you plan, and it doesn't have to be, from a conflict standpoint. It can necessarily be from, where you and your wife, or where you and your family, where you foresee that you guys want to be. And, a lot of times if you're not meeting those goals, whether it is between you and your wife or just from a family dynamic, if you're not meeting those goals, that can have a hindrance on the prosperity and the development of your family dynamic. And for us, I try to work constantly on myself on, having goals, wanting to achieve these goals for my family, whether it is, hey, I want us to have this type of lifestyle, or I just want to be able to communicate on this level, because communication is very important. But sometimes, you have to know or figure out what is the right time and place. And a lot of times you don't know what is the right time and place unless you sit and you are patient and you give yourself enough time to really understand what is going on from whatever dynamic it may be. And so I'll go on from a conflict standpoint, because that's so easy for the majority of us to wrap our minds around, because conflict can be or might be, a daily struggle for some of you guys out there. But, even when it becomes in situations of conflict, one of the things I try to do is not to, speak too quickly, because a lot of times when you speak and you don't take the necessary time to step back and really think about what is really going on and what is the outcome that you want out of it, a lot of times damage or disaster ends up manifesting itself. And so let's say, for instance, if my wife and I are angry at one another, we may be not seeing eye to eye. One of the things that I try to do, and nobody's perfect, I don't hit the mark every single time, but I tend not to, especially if we're having a verbal altercation where we're going back and forth trying to either present or prove a point. One of the things that I typically don't like to do is to immediately give conjectures out, bam, 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 go back and forth. I like to think about what is being said first from the counterpart, which is my wife, and then figuring out, okay, what can I say to avenue this conversation in the best possible direction as possible. And I think if we utilize, our brain for cognitive reasoning, what it's actually meant for versus, just quick spouts, that allows us to really navigate to the direction that we want to. And, that's one of the things I talk to my wife about is, working on not allowing anger to control or not allowing emotion to control where you go, but allowing cognitive, so you actually thinking about what it is you want and where you want the conversation to go, to be the driving force. And ultimately, your overall goal should be to find some consensus and meet in some kind of loving manner, especially if this is your wife. And so that's an attribute of patience that we strive to, from both parties, to get whenever we have any kind of dysfunctions. And not every time do we meet the mark, but I want to say that is one of the main reasons why I can call my wife my best friend, and we can have conversation between the two of us. We don't really need a third party to hear or listen to our problems, to be that mediator, because hopefully one of us within an altercation can be that person to kind of see where the silver lining might be and push towards it. So now, as this relates to business development, a lot of us, especially those of you guys that are probably watching this video, are probably high achievers. You guys want to do something spectacular in your life. You want to use, and it's kind of what I talked about in the last video, but you want to use your time in order to meet whatever purpose your life was designed to meet. And some of you guys may know what it is that you guys want to do, and there's some of you guys that may still be searching, which is also fine. But patience in all things gives better results. And even from a business standpoint, when I've seen where there's times where I have tried to force and make things happen, I may reach the result or achieve the result that I want, but I may not do it in the best possible way, meaning that the actions that I've done to try to get to the end goal wasn't actions that were a finesse. They were forced, they were miscalculated in certain areas, and it took longer, cost more money, or didn't get the exact result. It got me to the goal, but the finish wasn't as spectacular as it could have been if I used tactics that were driven by patience. And so I want you guys to think about this. Especially for some of you guys that are seeking new ventures, you may be already within a venture, you may be on the verge of achieving your goals, but really analyze what was your patience in the matter. Not meaning you need to sit back and just wait and hopefully that through nirvana and osmosis that something manifests itself, but you should really spend time to think about what actions and goals that you want to utilize in order to meet a goal. And one of the things I like to do is say, okay, well, this is where I'd like to see myself. Whether it is in 3 or 5 years, if we're talking from a business standpoint, where do I want to see myself in 3 to 5 years? And then I sit there and try to map out, okay, well, what do I actually need to do from a realistic standpoint to get there? And then what is going to be the patience that I need to achieve it? And let's say if I don't achieve what I want, let's say if I have a goal that I need to hit or obtain within a month, but I don't meet it, then what is the necessary patience that I need to distribute in order to still get to that goal? Maybe not in the time length that I had wanted or specified, but that I get the same outcome. And that's one of the things that we don't think about, is how do we use patience in order to get the best optimum outcome? Because whenever we're trying to drive results too fast, you may reach the goal, but it's not going to be as pretty and pristine as possible. Yes, if I didn't apply patience within my relationship that we have between myself and my wife, yes, I may have still met this anniversary, but the friendship, the bond, the emotional connection that we have may not be as great. And I think that is some of the reasons why a lot of us seem to fail and miss the mark in big aspects of our life, is because we don't deploy patience and we try to reach or make a result happen before it has a time to mature. Remember, pressure on things molds it to the correct element that it needs to be. But if you try to pressurize it, cook it too fast, you're not going to get the desired result. And so I just want to share that with you guys, and hopefully all the things that I talked about made sense. I kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts off my heart, and I kind of like this method of just talking. I think that in a way this gives me the opportunity to also to look back and to speak from my heart on the things that I feel is important for me, and hopefully it also can be utilized by you guys that is watching. But anyways, like I said, I just returned back from an anniversary. I had an amazing time with my wife. It was a very quick one. We only took a weekend away. But I think it's always good to get away, to refresh and to reminisce on the things that got you to where you are. I think that's what anniversary should be, is to kind of take a look back on what you guys did was amazing over the course of the last year, maybe the last couple of years, and then reflect on what it is that you guys want to do going forward, and then think about how you, the individual that's watching, is going to deploy patience in an effort to reach the desired result that you're trying to search after. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. And I hope to give you guys some more content very soon, very quick. And if you guys like what you guys have heard, leave a like. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely leave a comment below or message me personally. But as we go forward, I want to talk a little bit more about personal things that has got me to where I am going, and maybe talk about some things that has become a stumbling block that can hopefully help you guys. And then also kind of just document my process. I think that is going to be key for me, is just documenting my progress, my process on what I'm doing and where I'm going. Hopefully that I can achieve the goals that I have set for myself. But anyways, not to continue to ramble on. Like I said, you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one.